Ghetto fabulous. Ghetto. What happened to you?
All I had was one play to run.
Jesus, like this is why you can't hire black people to do jobs in 2023. Lord Jesus, how is your mental health, Henry?
Yeah, it's good. It's getting better. You know, the biggest challenge I have is balancing life. Like somebody, I guess pacing myself because sometimes everybody needs you. Mm-hmm. So like back in the day, you try to like be everything to everybody, and then at the end of the day, you're burned out.
Yes, Lord.
So it's my responsibility to like slow down and kind of just put those barriers there. So that's what I'm doing. So my mental health is getting better.
Oh wow, we both sound sad today on this show. Oh Jesus, this is how we're gonna start it out with our sad mental health.
Just adulting, you know, adulting in a moving world, in a changing world. Yeah. So
adulting, Jesus, lifing.
Yeah, trying to lifing, and even for the kids, you know, they're going through things. So really trying to get rooted, take those breaths, and daily try to keep that perspective. That's a whole full-time job.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So yeah, so I'm doing well. Doing well.
After all that, so you're doing well.
Yeah, and now my phone is working. Go ahead.
Thank God. Like you had one job.
And
you messed that up in the first 5 minutes of the show. But listen, I'm joking. It's all love. So like mental health for me, man, I have been in the sunken place. Like, and I hate to be on the sunken place during PTO, because when you on PTO and when you have like, you know, a off day because it was the holidays this past weekend, I want to be up, awake. I want to be vibrant. I want to be hype, you know, because I'm off. And, you know, I feel like we always talk about mental health, but I feel like we need to really be honest. Like, I feel like mental health is starting to be one of those like fads. Like, oh, how's your mental health? Oh, you know, how's your mental health? But for real, I come on the show, you know, looking good, smelling good, feeling good, blah, 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 blah. But I'm a real person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real person. And, you know, I was in a very dark place. Like I feel like I was, and tell me if you can relate to this, because it's like I'm trying to like fight it, you know? So because I'm old enough to try to like manage my feelings, and, you know, just because you in a bad space doesn't mean that life stops. You know what I'm saying? Especially like you said, you're adulting. So you got a job to do. You can't come to work like, oh, I got to take off because I got a mental health. You know, they don't care about that, most jobs. You got, life still goes on. So I feel like with me, like I was trying to fight it. Like I was trying to fight, you know, I felt that coming on. I felt like sadness, and I felt, you know, let's be honest, I felt depression coming on. I felt it coming on real heavy. And, you know, I was trying my best to like just fight it. And then it's like when I had Friday off, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm off. So I tried to do what I do best. I had a mimosa and I had some breakfast by myself and tried to like kind of like fight it. I felt good, but then it's like it just hit me. And you know, I haven't felt like that in a very long time. And so it was like, oh my God, like I'm literally in the bed all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally feel like I don't think I even ate a lot this weekend. It was really bad, but I say all that to say I am human. Life happens. I'm crawling up out of the ditch. I went this morning. I worked out. I had a really good workout at the gym, and just feeling a whole lot better. I'm gonna tell you what I did do though, so I don't recommend this. So it was Sunday, and I said, you know what? No, it was Monday. It was Monday, Labor Day, and I said, you know, this is my last free day before I have to go back to work. And I don't want to spend another day down in the sunken place. I don't want to spend another day feeling sad. So I took an edible. Not sure if you ever had one. But I say, you know what? If I got to force this thing, if I got to force this smile on my face and force this happiness, I'm going to do it because I don't want to waste another day. Took an edible. I went to eat. I ate at a restaurant, left the restaurant, went and had ice cream next door, left ice cream next door, went and ordered a whole pizza. Listen, this is why I was in the gym this morning, because when that edible kicked in, I could not get full. I do not condone it, but listen, I feel like it did help me because I feel like it kind of helped catapult me out of the darkness and into hunger, which catapulted me into happiness. So however you got to do it, listen, I don't.
Did that slow you down, the edible, or?
Oh yeah, like when I ate the food at the first restaurant, I couldn't get full. So then we went next door and I had ice cream at Jenny's ice cream, and oh my God, like it was so much sugar. It was like, I'm not a big sugary dessert eater, and so I had all that sugar, and the sugar mixed with the drink I had, mixed with the edible, all came down on me at once, and I was outside the damn ice cream place, laid out, trying to gather.
Sounds like you had a good time.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what you call a good time.
You were trouble free for a moment.
I was trouble free, Jesus. I was literally out there in front of. Listen, I don't know if I don't think you've ever been to this place, but it's a place called Jenny's Ice Cream, and it's like the restaurant where we was at is on the left. It's a big open space where like families and people are out, and then on the right it's the big ice cream like place. It's like a small glass building. So imagine me going in there and getting ice cream high as a kite, and then I come out and I'm just passed out on the bench in front of Jenny's ice cream trying to get myself enough strength to go and walk to the car, and then went to the car and then went 2 miles up the street, ordered a whole pizza, ate half of that. Listen, that's why I was in the gym this morning, because I said, you know what, all that food I didn't eat this weekend, I made up for it when I had that edible. So listen, however you got to do it, as long as you're safe, as long as you know, whatever you got to do, get out of that funk. And I can finally say today, I'm out of the funk. I think working out is very, obviously scientifically working out, it releases serotonin and certain endorphins that make you feel a whole lot happier. So, that worked for me as well. So, if the drugs don't do it, working out will.
Glad you doing that.
Another disclaimer, y'all. So listen, this podcast is not for the mothers, okay? It's not for the mothers of the church. It's not for the mothers. I have to keep telling my mom and anybody in the mom category, please don't watch this podcast. It's like, do not watch all. Huh?
Why is it not for them?
So this is the thing. My podcast, I always say, and I almost got through this episode without saying it, but since you asked, this podcast is very much giving transparency, raw. You know what I'm saying? You might hear some stuff that you don't want to hear if you're looking at me as a little kid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when the mothers try to listen to this podcast, listen, I don't want to filter anything, any of my thoughts, anything, because the mothers are listening. So listen at your own risk. Take this PSA you listening here at your own risk. My friends got onto me really bad because last week, I don't know if you listened to our episode last week, but them crab legs, they did not like me eating them crab legs on YouTube. It was very interesting. I got a lot of flack from my friends, but everybody else enjoyed it. So
yeah, you was killing it.
I was killing it.
I couldn't do it because, you know what I'm saying?
You couldn't do it.
It wasn't you wasn't messy. The butter would have been all over my face.
Listen, it's so funny how men see stuff and how women see stuff, because my friends was like, you look like a pig. Like, you was sitting there, you had crab juice in your hair, you was they was like, I had butter all on my hands. I even took my microphone and cracked one of the crab legs open. Them crab legs was good. And then I watched the show a day later and went back and ordered some more crab legs. Like, it was so good. It was coming from me though.
The confidence to eat, not only eat, hold a conversation, be on the camera.
Thank you. So. And you know what? That let me tell you. Hold on. Let me find my correct key, because I pressed the wrong key last time. Thank you for that, because you know what? That is really looking at a glass half. Is it empty? Yeah. Or half full? Half full. Yeah. Half full. So listen, it's going to be a really good, quick but good show. So please, if you listen this far, continue to listen. So we have a few topics, not very many, but I had to jump on. So I'm about a day late for my first normal post. But listen, as long as you get me, you get me. Before I get into that, make sure you're following me on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and then also follow us on Instagram. That's Scary_podcast. On YouTube, that's Scary with Meloney P podcast. First topic, y'all. Ooh. Okay. I don't know if I should play this clip because every time I try to use my audio, child, something be backfiring. But listen, so there is a viral post going on about Love and Hip Hop's Erica Mena and Spice. Not Latin, but Jamaican sensation Spice. So I'm going to try to find this clip. Now, I sent this to you earlier, and I wanted you to really dig into this to see if, you know, what your thoughts were on this. So I'm going to play this.
Spice, and I told Safari what was going on with you. His reaction was, oh my God, I wouldn't know what would happen to me if something happens to Spice. And I said, well, damn, I was your wife pregnant. Almost lost my life and our baby. In a really dark time. I was in the hospital, which the whole world saw. Safari made it seem like he, quote unquote,
let's fast forward.
Left Mike, you bitch! Why did y'all do that?
That's too much, child. But listen, so basically what happened, because that's a lot of cursing. So Erica Mena was in a heated conversation with Spice. And I want to be specific in how I'm saying this because this is the order of how this happened. Heated conversation. Spice says to Erica, your son doesn't like you. And this is just me summing this up. Your son doesn't like you. That really was a trigger for Erica. And Erica lashed back and in so many words called her a blue monkey. Called her a blue monkey over and over and over again. This has resulted in Erica Mena being fired from her longtime job at Love and Hip Hop, the reality TV show, because she called Spice a monkey in response to Spice talking about her child does not like her. So at first, when I listened to this, I was like, and listen, do not come for me, but I was like, well, we all kind of resemble an animal. And I could see how Spice might resemble a monkey. Listen, that was my first thought. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't lash out at somebody and then get mad when they respond. You cannot get upset when somebody responds, because if you're going to come for somebody and a kid in their sore spot, you cannot get angry if they respond with your sore spot, right? So that was my first thing. I feel like, you know, anytime you hear a black or a non-black person refer to a black person as a monkey, it is a trigger for most black people, right? But then it's like, okay, you're on a reality TV show, you lashed out at her, she lashed out at you. That was my first thought. Then I started doing some digging, okay? I started doing some digging, and I found that Erica Mena, she has a long-standing history with calling black people monkeys. What are your thoughts on this, Henry?
Yeah, I watched the clip. It was interesting. I don't really watch the show like that much, but I wanted to do my due diligence and be up on the topic. So I don't know. I think isn't reality TV supposed to be explosive like that?
It is.
Like,
you're right.
Because it was like a normal back and forth argument, and I guess the lady in the blue said something that triggered her,
right?
Or
Erica Mena. Erica Mena.
So I guess like it exploded. Like she like turned the table over and everything.
Yes.
So,
which to me is giving reality. Like, to me, when I saw her turn the table over, right? Ding ding. Exactly.
You're not tuning in to see them have Bible study.
Period. Right.
So I thought it was great. It was online with that franchise, what they do. The interesting thing is I was seeing the situation like, so is it outrage from people about the monkey thing, or is that like the lady in the blue, like she's upset? Like who put the pressure to get her fired?
So I think that we are in a cancel culture. Listen, I don't know how many times I had to say on this damn show, please don't cancel me, because we're in a cancel culture, and I think it's two things happening. And bear with me. We're in a cancel culture, number one, but number two, we're also in a culture where Black women are starting to be protected. Black women are starting to be protected, and I'm here for it. So I think it's two things going on. I think that if you look in what's going on now in our culture, Black women are starting to be protected. It had to be enough people to show outrage, or even maybe not a lot of people, but enough people showed outrage that made VH1 and Mona Scott be like, okay, bitch, you fired. You know what I'm saying? So I really do feel, I only feel like they fired her because people saw it. You have to understand that this show has already been filmed months and months and months ago, number one. Number two, they edited, VH1 and their editors edited, they can take out what they don't want shown. So they purposefully left this in the edit to get that wow factor, not taking into account that might be, offensive to Black women. Like, where are your Black people on your payroll? You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of things happening here. I think that VH1, Love and Hip Hop has been a long-standing franchise. Love and Hip Hop has been on literally since I think I was maybe in college. Like, I've been watching this show for a very long time, since Stevie J and Jocelyn, the Puerto Rican princess. So at the end of the day, ratings, I'm sure, are not as high. So they're looking for anything to get ratings. I think that Erica Mena was very much given reality regularness with throwing the table, right? But I think that she probably was very much triggered by her talking about her kid. If you listen to the show, and if you know about Erica Mena, her oldest child is like 16, 17 years old. It is a very sore spot for her. So anybody who's coming for her knows to hit that spot. But I say this to say that Erica Mena, this is a job. This is probably one of her only jobs that puts food on her table. And I think we have all been in situations where, something happened to us on our job, maybe with somebody of the opposite race, and we didn't go and call them something that was close to derogatory. So I feel like Erica Mena, you got too comfortable, Yeah,
but it's like, what's the criteria? Because it's like, she said she called her monkey, but then we don't say stuff about other things. So it's like they pick the time to be sensitive with a reality show.
Wow.
Like, I'm confused. Yeah. I get it, and I think there may be some sensitivity there for us as Black people.
Why is that? Do you think? Why does that word monkey affect us so much?
Well, glad you asked. Now, I love history.
Go ahead.
I love history, and if you dig back into time, early 1900s and stuff, a lot of stuff that's not politically correct anymore to call us. Like, I saw some tapings of a president, and they were having conversations, and people were dropping the N-word, like these were white gentlemen dropping the N-word who were political officers.
Jesus.
So there was a time where it was okay, like that. And so now it's not politically correct to do certain, but we say certain things to each other,
right? I do,
and it's okay. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to see. That's what you hired her to do. Now, I think it would have been effective if everybody was enraged. Let her come back on and have a conversation about that, so we can see like where that happens. Because sometimes you do have the privilege when you're not Black. It's like you can, like, sometimes your true feelings of what you grew up in or whatever can come out.
Right.
And that triggers us because of our long history of being marginalized or oppressed. So it's like, it comes from a time like where the slurs were really coming. But this right here, it's like, that's what you paid her to do.
Right.
So it's just really interesting how we select what's cancel worthy and what's not.
Yeah,
so.
You made a good point, because this is something I didn't think about until you said that, right? So like you said that, we're picking and we're choosing, right? So it would have probably been more effective if the network, and Mona Scott, who is the executor of the show, she's a Black woman. And here's the thing. Mona Scott has gotten rich on monopolizing on Black culture and kind of helping to, showcase the Black people fighting and throwing tables and being argumentative. Okay, that's how she get her coin. It is what it is. But you made a good point. So this is the thing. Mona Scott fired Erica Mena just only as a Black woman. She fired Erica Mena only because she didn't want to get flack pulled back on herself. But it would have probably been more effective. Like if a Black woman, Mona Scott, really felt like Erica Mena was using a racial slur and it really, really bothered her and affected her, what would have been more effective, like you said, would have been to sit down and have a conversation and bring somebody like, they did that with another lady who was using a racial slur on the show. They brought in a Iyanla Vanzant and they made her, atone for, being racial, whatever. So it makes you think, they fired her. Okay, goodbye. She'll say it again. But it probably would have been more effective to have her come on to the show, explain why she said that, have a Black women. This is the thing. Erica Mena has babies by a Black man. So how would she feel if somebody called her babies monkeys? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Erica Mena, it's just so much you can say about this. They always say they want our culture, but they don't want our sadness. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she having babies by our Black men, but looking at the women who birthed our Black men as monkeys. Again, if this was a one-off, if Erica Mena hadn't had a history of calling Black women monkeys, like she literally has called at least 2 or 3 that I've seen allegedly, other Black women monkeys. Like that's her thing. She has called other Black women monkeys. So to me, if this was just a one-off where, I'm just heated because, listen, come for my children and I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna say whatever because you come for my kids. I'm coming for you, right? But on the same token, like I said, when you at work, now I don't know, because if I'm at work and somebody come for my kids, I'm probably still going to get fired, at the end of the day, depending on what you say. But on the same token, you can't, if she had just had a one-off, it would have been fine. But she has a history of saying this. So at the end of the day, this is something that's deep in her. This is her go-to, call to Black women whenever she feels some kind of way. She's been in several other altercations on the show with other Black men. She's never ever called them monkey. I really feel like it's one of them things so where, you're a Black woman, I'm looking down on you and I'm going to call you a monkey because that's what I truly think about you. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree that this should have been a deeper conversation to help, I don't know. Cause I feel like on one hand, goodbye, like the worst way I can cut you is by cutting your check. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess it's twofold now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like, I get it. And then it's just like, everything's good till it gets real. Mm-hmm. Until, there's something said that's like, oh man, that hurts. Like even in, like the rap game, everything's good as long as it's on, it's on the track, on the record. But then when people get killed or have to go to prison, now it's really happening. So it's not just play. So I don't know if that was a good analogy, but but what I'm saying is that I just found it interesting. I thought it was an entertainment show. She flipped the table, like it was chaos, and it was just that one thing, the monkey thing.
The monkey.
And I get it. I think I would have liked to see a conversation if everybody's so concerned with that.
Right.
We ain't concerned with nothing else.
Right. And there's a lot of worse things happening on that show, honestly.
That's like having a triple Big Mac, fries with extra salt and a Diet Coke. It's like, I think that was like a small thing. I know it's a big thing too. I would have liked to see maybe her come back and they address it.
Yeah. And I was saying that too, but again, the worst way, she's during that scene, she was saying how, she's having to be out here being a single mother. Again, let's promote being a single mother with no father in the home. Let's promote that, because shit, that's the bigger conversation and shit. Both of those women in that conversation, both of those women was arguing about who is the most single mother of them all. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's the bigger damn conversation. Like, I get it. Everybody is after $1. So if that means, getting a reality TV show or starting a reality TV show, then do it. But you can do two things at the same time. So you can have the reality TV show conversation, but damn, nigga, like, why the hell, excuse me, why are you, listen, is that horrible? Talking about monkeys. Oh my God.
Hey, I was saying,
there's worse things to talk about. like podcast hosts trying to help and hurt at the same time. But but it's like, my thing is, where was I going with it? I had a point I was making and you started laughing. Oh my God. What was I saying?
You were saying that you were saying that she was saying you were saying that you could be on the do your reality show, and that could be a career path or something like that.
Oh, I forgot. I feel like I was going somewhere. I was going somewhere, and I totally lost it. Oh, I thought like a good point. I hate when that happens. But anyway, it just. I gotta find that point because it was gonna be really good. I gotta find that point. What was I about to say? Oh my God.
It was about Erica, I believe.
It was about Erica, and I said the N-word. I don't know. I'll find it again. But all I'm saying is, it'll come back. But here's the thing. I just really totally feel like we have to be intentional, another word of the 2000s, about, the type of content that the single mother thing. That's all I was saying. Like, we have two women out here fighting about being the singlest single mother of them all. Take two. And it's just like, let's talk about that. Like, let's have somebody come on the show and being like, listen, how do we stop y'all arguing about being single mothers? Like, how did you get to the point? And listen, I can't talk, but how did you get to the point of where you are a single mother? Like, let's start there. Have your reality here at Mona Scott, if you're listening, have your reality TV show, right? With all the pomp and circumstance and the lifting tables, all those. But let's try to offset that by trying to promote to women to make better choices and men to make better choices in their mates. So they're not out here. So they're lessening the possibility of choosing the wrong partner and being a single mother in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the bigger conversation, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, when you look at, just like we look at everything else, entertainment, like rap, kill, whatever. So I think your show is entertainment. So there was one verbal disrespect followed by another from the other side, and then it got out of control.
Right.
So I think that was good for the show format. And then now, instead of letting her go, you come back and address that, and maybe you can get to the points that you're talking about.
Right. I just, I was watching on Instagram. I don't know if you know who Chrisean Rock is and Blueface, but she just had a baby, and she had a baby, I think last night. She literally had a baby, went live having the baby, ain't no man in sight. And you know what? That I despise. I am so tired of the Black community like celebrating having babies with no husband, with no man in sight. Like, I am so tired of that. Like, that is a real sore spot for me, because I feel like, I don't want to say that you should feel ashamed, you know what I'm saying, for having a baby and not being with the father, but I don't know if you should be so happy. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for that?
I thought she does have the baby daddy.
Blueface is her baby's father, and the whole time the whole time she was giving birth, Blueface was with baby mama number one while she was giving birth, and she done had a baby, and he's still nowhere in sight, and he's actually online talking crap about her, and she just had his child. Now I watched a live about an hour or two ago with somebody holding her newborn baby, like literally 2-day-old baby. And she is online shaking her butt and bragging about how her body has snapped back after 48 hours. Like, this is our reality. This is our reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why I was surprised with like what you were saying with the show. It's like it's a different world than when we were born. So it's like, what's the standard?
That's the damn question, because I feel like the standards are getting lower and lower.
So I get it. Like, so I think, and that's, so we could talk about popular culture, our athletes, our entertainers. Yeah. It's like, I guess when you live on the edge and you have to do all these things, then when we see things that go off the rails, like the monkey comment or like her having the baby and then going live, we're like, oh, that's horrible. How could you? Yeah. But that's the environment, that's the atmosphere we live in. Like, it's the extreme things going on, and and coming from the backgrounds that we come from, the dysfunction is getting more and more. So,
it's getting more and more. Can you imagine where it's going to be in the next 20 years? Like, if the standard is calling people monkeys and having a baby one day and the next day twerking with your like maxi pad on live from the blood of having a baby less than 48 hours ago, if that's the standard now in 2023, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in another 3 years. In another 3 years, forget 10 years, another 3 years. Like, I feel like it's getting worse. And so, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, I joke around a lot. Listen, I am the biggest Pound Town twerker of them all. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors.
Pound twerker. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a song. Listen, I don't know what you know, but it's a song called Pound.
Gotcha.
Okay, Lord Jesus. Yeah. Pound Town. Hi, go. He just took a nigga down. Hey, Pound Town. Pound Town. Okay, that's the song. Yeah. And the song is by this girl, Sexxy Red. And she brags about she literally was on an interview. Now, this is our people. Okay. She was on an interview last week bragging about how she done had a baby and she don't know who the father was because she was sleeping with two men at the same time, and she was bragging about it. Now, take it back 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you would have been ashamed to be pregnant, number one, without being married, number one. But even more so, you would have been ashamed to not know who the father was. You know what I'm saying? But now we celebrate that. So I get what you're saying. You can't, on one hand, cancel somebody for calling somebody a monkey, but then on the other hand, applaud somebody for not knowing who their baby daddy is and bragging about it. You know?
Yeah, and I think it's always been levels. Like, it's back. I heard a record. This lady, there was some like really like, what's the word?
Vulgar?
It was like vulgar records way back in the early 1900s. So I think we just
1900s.
Yeah, like it was records out that was like
1900s. Like what? What was vulgar back then?
Like she was spitting like they spit now. Like I have to send you the clip. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, now we just have to act. You can go direct to consumer with the internet. So you're seeing more of what the world is. But
Jesus.
But to your point,
I gotta Google that, child. I ain't heard about them because the 1900s there was Pound Town in 1900s.
It wasn't a trap music enough, but it was like blues or something like that.
Oh, got it. Like Mom's Mabley type.
Okay, yeah, I guess she's comedy, right?
Yeah, but she had very vulgar comedy. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, but to your point, I think all you could do is just like with everything going on within your family structure, within your friends, you can create that community that can promote healthy things versus everything that's being put on us.
Right.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
So, am I wrong? Do you think for liking Pound Town?
No, I mean, some people, it's like a fun record.
A fun record? What?
There are certain, I know certain people, coworkers, people I've run across, like, they separate the entertainment from real life.
Got it.
Like, they'll go to rap concerts or whatever, boom, 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 and then when they leave, they're like, all right, so what's the weather tomorrow? So
Right.
I think it's balanced, and then you'll know what's too much for you. Like, wait a minute now, come on now, this is a little bit too.
Right.
But nah, Pound Town sounds like a fun song.
I'm gonna read you one verse from the Pound Town lyric, and you tell me your thoughts on where we're headed. Okay. Pound Town just left Pound Town with my nigga. He just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga. Listen, wait. Yeah, that nigga dick a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. Pound Town just left Pound Town with my nigga. He just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dick a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. That's one verse. Like, how do you even sit in a studio and write that verse? Like, do you really sit down intentionally and be like, Pound Town just left? Like, how does that work?
Now think about it. Think about this.
Yeah.
On top of that, look at, like, I'm not judging the record, but look who the record is for and marketed to.
Which is even worse.
So there's no Jewish artist making that record for their community.
Right.
There's no country artist making it. But the reason that millions of dollars are put behind it, because you know, like, you could be an artist, but unless you have a budget, like, you can have the greatest material,
right? But
you need a budget to market and get it out there and get on the radio. Right. So millions of dollars are put behind records like that.
Oh, I'm gonna read one more verse from this song, because I've never even read it. Too many bitches, where the niggas at? I'm trying to get my coochie scratched. I'm trying to get my coochie stretched. You know them dreadheads do it the best. I like a nigga with a check. All my niggas give me neck. You know I'm sexy, I'm the best. I'm the shit, little bitch, I'm that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, if you know me, you know I have danced to this song, so I'm not even going to front like I don't listen to the song. But when you sit, I'm grown. I'm a whole grown woman with a whole grown mortgage and a whole grown life. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, it's wrong, you know, but this is what our kids are listening to on, like, this is on daytime radio. You know?
You have the ability, because you've developed enough, like, you could play that record recreationally.
Correct.
Vacation, or just turn up
and let it go, and not think nothing else of it.
When you come back down, you be like, you know, you put on some Anita Baker, like,
what's for dinner,
you
right?
Get it,
right?
So shout out to the sister. Like, because the thing is, what we gotta realize too is that the artists that are making these records and doing these things, they're trying to find a way out of a system that we well know, like, we're trying to find a way out of. Wow. And so if you're coming from the type of poverty, right, that I know about and that you may know about, and somebody say, make a Pound Town record, and I'm gonna give you this check for $750,000.
You know, listen, I ain't come from no poverty, and I make that money. I make that money real quick.
Right, like, so you're gonna do it,
right?
So I think that's the thing. So I ran into a situation where I had to get into a vehicle, and there was a record left in it. And I like hip hop, but I'm not like a hip hop guy or whatever. Like, I like hip hop, but I started listening to the lyrics. I was like, oh snap! Like, you listen to like 20 songs like this, so it can play on your mind,
right?
So you just have to be careful for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, I mean, I know you're having fun with it, and you got to be. But the money is put behind the records to a certain audience who cannot switch it on and off like that.
Exactly. Like, and good point there, because you know what? I'm grown, so I can listen to it and listen to some Anita Baker and some, you know, Johnny Gill right after it and not think twice about it. But this music is marketed to our young kids whose brains are not even fully developed. So music is a chant. Music is like a spell. When you're constantly think about it. When you go to a high school or even see kids in the mall, wherever you might see kids, you always see them with what? With headphones, earplugs in their ear. And if that's the constant message that they are being sent over and over and over again in their ear, even if they're not, my daughter, she will literally, when I see her, she don't even know if I'm in a room because she got headphones on. Like, she has headphones on constantly. And, you know, I can try to manage that as much as possible. But at the end of the day, she's about to be 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, which is another conversation, because I used to always think, oh, you know, my kid would never. But at the end of the day, you're fighting against... It's so important to set that foundation in the home off the rip. Because when them kids get to 13, 12, shit, now 9 years old, and they're out there with the other kids, you're fighting with what you're teaching them and what the world's teaching them. And it's a constant tug of war. It's a constant battle. So that's why we can go on and on about this for real, because we have 43 minutes. But, you know, it's a constant battle. Do you have any closing words before you go to the next?
Constant battle, and equally constant is the media, the YouTube, the phone. So we may not listen to the music like Pound Town, but we look at the equivalent on TikTok that influences us. So
you know, that's right.
We're all in a struggle at this point.
And another good point
shout
made.
out to the Pound Town sisters.
Pound Town, just took Pound Town. Well, my nigga, name? He just eat it. Sexxy Red.
Okay.
I know you gonna play it. You gonna stream it tonight, ain't you? You gonna find it on Spotify. You stream it tonight.
Sure. But shout out to Sexxy Red.
Shout out to Sexxy Red. Sponsor the show.
You know, we all have our journey.
Yeah.
And we just, you know, we get.
And I love that. That's a very positive way to end that segment. And we're talking about black women. We talk about Sexxy Red. Talk about Spice. We talked about everybody black, protecting black women. Who isn't protecting black women, right? Funky Dineva. Lord Jesus. Now, I just said in the last segment that black women are now being protected more than ever. So last week, when I was in my depression, Funky Dineva got on his little show. Listen, I'm not gonna front. I'm a Funky Dineva fan. I love Fox TGIF. It's a very entertaining show. He got on his show, and it's this whole rumor that Halle Berry, our resident mermaid, black mermaid, is pregnant by this boy, which I hope is not the case. Long story short, it's a rumor, and people were coming for her, basically saying that, you know, she pregnant, why she pregnant by this boy. So Chloe Bailey, who is, you know, singer of Mercy and all the other good songs, she was on a live in her natural beautiful melanin sister. And she was saying, hey, y'all gonna stop coming for my sister too. Basically, she said that in a nutshell. Funky Dineva got on his show and his platform and really berated, he berated Chloe. And I'm gonna play that clip because that was... Listen, I really, really enjoy Funky Dineva. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really enjoy his conversation. I think he's a very, very smart man. I think that he's very good at what he does. But I also think that he took his platform to talk negatively about Chloe Bailey, and I just didn't like that. So let's listen to what he said.
And I know this story is about Haley. I can officially say I don't like her. Chloe Bailey is so goddamn lame to me. First of all, girl, you were Miss Preppy Ashley from the suburbs. Then you came out, you was being all promiscuous and shit, and then now you trying to be a gangster. None of it is fucking believable, girl. None of it is believable. And I'm probably gonna catch a lot of backlash for this, and without that makeup, she ain't cute. She should have never...
I'm gonna cut him off right there. Now listen, I thoroughly enjoy Funky Dineva. I think he is, like I said, really good at what he does. I think he's a very, very intelligent black man. But he has had a trend of coming for black women. And here's the irony of that. He literally just spoke about the Erica Mena Spice situation and said that, you know, hey, Erica Mena, you have a job and you can't go on your job denigrating and putting down people, the same demographic of people who pay you. So the same way that Love and Hip Hop's majority of the demographic that watches Love and Hip Hop are black women are the majority of the demographic that listens and supports Funky Dineva and Fox Soul. So I really want Funky Dineva to take his own advice that he gave to Erica Mena. That's number one. I feel like, I don't know if he had a drink or if he was drunk, talk, but his rant about, to Chloe Bailey was really, it wasn't warranted. And I feel like, I get it. Listen, when we have these platforms, these podcasts, these, shows talking about pop culture, we have every right to give our opinion, but it's a very thin line between an opinion and bashing somebody for absolutely no reason. For him to call her promiscuous, like, did you sleep with her? We know not, because you don't sleep with women. So at the end of the day, I didn't stand for it, and I didn't really stand for his apology either. I feel like, Fox Soul made him give an apology. And while I respect his, consistency of, hey, this is how I felt, but I could have presented it a little bit better, I feel like there was no remorse in his attack on this young black woman. What are your thoughts?
So when I looked at the gentleman, he looked, like up in our age or whatever, a little older somewhere.
Yeah. He's actually younger than us. That's the scary part.
Okay, he Chloe is young, right? So yeah. I'm asking you, like, what you think the motivation was for the attack? Like,
that's a good question. That's something I've been thinking about. Like, you know what? Here's the thing, because people have been really coming for Funky Dineva for a very long time. He made very negative comments about Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, and said that she was ugly. He's made other comments about other entertainers or black celebrities in the past quite consistently. And here's the thing. If the conversation and the negative conversation was equal across all playing fields, then maybe it wouldn't look so bad. But I really don't feel like I hear him talk as negatively about any other culture but his own. And here's something that I haven't heard anybody really say. I am a thorough watcher of Fox News. Fox Soul. Ooh, not Fox News. Fox. Erase that. Fox Soul and TGIF. And I've been watching Funky Dineva for several years. And he's spoken a lot about his mental health issues. He's spoken a lot about his, troubled childhood growing up. He's spoken a lot about his, not receiving love from his family and stuff like that growing up. And listen, here, I dare to say, I'm quite certain that Funky Dineva was the ugly duckling growing up. And I hate to say that, but listen, let's just call a spade. If you want to call Chloe a spade, I'm gonna call him a spade, because I think that if we can look at him and tell that he was a skinny, ugly duckling growing up. And I think that he's found his therapy in being comical. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you cannot bite the hand that feeds you. His demographic, his audience, his supporters are black women. And black women, at the end of the day, we can't even fault Funky Dineva, because at the end of the day, he's doing what works for him. He is a person who speaks negatively consistently about black women, and black women still watch him. Black women still go to his show and support him. So if it's working, why change it? If people are so outraged by Funky Dineva, don't watch him. Cancel him like you do everybody else. Cancel him. But no, black women are quick to say, and listen, can I talk? Because I watch it too. Now, I'm not as much offended by his comments, and maybe that's a problem in itself, but a lot of people are. But I feel like them same people still watch him. And I feel like, I feel like he has a bad, he comes from a troubled space. I feel like he suffers very much with depression consistently. I mean, he spoke about this very much on his show. He struggles with depression, and I think that, he just is lashing out, and it's never come with any kind of repercussions. And my fear for him is the repercussion. And I feel like, here's the other part of that, and then I'll let you speak. The other part to that is his co-anchors. So there is no damn way that I'm going to be on a show as a black woman with two other black men, and I hear my black brother putting down my black sister for absolutely no reason. She didn't do nothing but protect her little sister. So calling her fat, calling her promiscuous, calling her ugly, all those things. Okay, 1 and 2 is great. When you get to negative remark number 10, I got to say something. So honestly, when I'm looking at Claudia and I'm looking at I'll Laugh, you know, that was too much for me. So I feel like everybody around him is really, he ain't get in no trouble. They applauded him. They laughing with him, and it's working for him.
Claudia Jordan is
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's just the climate. Like where's the line?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, you know, it's okay to be outrageous sometimes, I guess. When you say it about certain people, then it's an issue.
It goes to other point. It goes to other point, right? You said that, okay, we can call Erica Mena called, and we get it that it's wrong, but she only said monkey, and not only, but she called her a blue monkey. Funky Dineva called Chloe fat, called her promiscuous, called her ugly. I mean, he done said 3 different things, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure they all hit the same, if not probably worse than calling somebody a monkey. Like, we obviously know that Spice is not a monkey, but maybe Chloe has issues with her weight. Maybe Chloe has, you know, self-esteem issues with not wearing no makeup. You just never know what somebody's going through. And I get that when you are in the public eye, you're fair game to any and everybody. But I just feel like, you know, the point of it all is that, Funky, take the same advice that you gave Erica Mena. You're on a job, you're on a platform, read the room and know how far to go and how far not to go. Period, point blank.
Exactly. So
you know?
I think it shows that the challenge is how, like, so if I'm gonna jump on the subject,
mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna be like, oh, monkey's wrong,
mm-hmm.
then that's a huge step, because if you're gonna be, as they say, 100 with it, like, you're gonna have to examine, where do I cross that line also?
Right. Exactly.
But in today's world, not to say we're old or nothing, but back before the way it is now, you really had to have some legitimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Or you had to have some credibility.
Right.
But now you could just say that you are.
Right.
But your work is showing like, oh no, you're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going to be love for the culture, love for the people, then you got to work on doing that all the time. Not just picking and choosing. So, yeah, so hopefully.
But do you feel like black women are picking and choosing, right? Like, because listen to what you're saying. I hear what you're attempting to say, right? But black women are the ones picking and choosing. Is that what you're meaning? Because black women are picking and choosing. We're picking and choosing. Okay, we're mad about the monkey, but we're not mad about a black man calling us fat, ugly, and whatever else he called her. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I was saying it from the other side, meaning like from like, if you're a personality
mm-hmm.
online and kind of trying to be consistent with your message.
Mm-hmm.
But also from the perspective that you just mentioned, it challenges us. Like I was saying, so I have to look deeper, with love in
mm-hmm.
the sense of like, where is the person coming from?
Right.
Because it's easy to chop their head off.
Right.
But what's the background story that caused, like, so on one hand, I could be like, oh, the rap, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da, but it's coming from a place.
Right.
So if I'm not willing to address the place, but I'm real loud on the criticism, but I don't got no solution.
And here's the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Ooh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think when you try to use those, like for me, if I try to think critically like that, it kind of slows me down where I can not only see the error in the other side, but try to kind of see what's going on with me and then see if it's matching up and see like what about I think from what you're saying, from what I heard, he's just attacking her. And it's like, why? Yeah. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
Or is that what he's paid to do? Is that what the show is about?
But I hear what you're saying, but there's a thin line between comedy and just pure blatant disrespect. There's a thin line between reality TV and, you know, now you're going onto a racial slur. But here's the thing. The line is incredibly thin. You know what I'm saying? We've made that line incredibly thin. So can we get mad when people don't know, damn, how thin the line is? Where is the line? The line is constantly moving. Like you said, we call each other the N words. You know, I done blurted out twice during this conversation. So at the end of the day, you know, them calling a monkey, you know, you got to pick and choose.
Yeah, it's like I get it why we shouldn't say it. I get it why we say it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like it's like.
Why do you think we say it? You said you get why we say it. Why do you think? Why is that? What do you get?
You know, I was born into a world where in our community, that's how we say it. Mm-hmm. We say it like we saying each other's name, and we don't know the historical context.
Yeah.
And now think about it. Where are we educated to know the historical context? Because if you understood the historical context, then you would have more internal motivation not to say it. But no effort is put into that. So it's all in the comedy. It's all in our, you know, in just whatever, how we communicate. But I think if we go back further to really get the essence of it, it would give us maybe a better motivation not to say it.
Yeah, I gotta disagree because I'm very educated on the topic and I constantly say that word, but I am working on it because I feel like just as an adult I need to work on saying that. But I'm extremely educated on the horror of that word, but because I hear it so innately around me, it's really become second nature. And this is me being very transparent. Like I gotta stop saying that word, but I say it quite often. Now I've cut back tremendously on saying that word, especially in the beginning of my show, but especially just in life in general, because I feel like, you know what, I need to really think about, like you said, the origin of that word and how would I feel if somebody else said it, or how would I feel if one of my kids said it? You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, I'm very educated on it, but I still say it.
Yeah, I think I was watching something today and I was like, in the context of when we're joking and we're, you know, and we're having our fun and we're together, it flows. But then when you say it and you see it for what it is, it's like cringe.
Right.
Cringy.
And what's the difference between us calling the N-word or her calling us a monkey?
Say it again?
Like, what's the difference between us calling each other the N-word and Erica calling us monkeys?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, like, getting outraged on that, but we have a bigger thing. But, you know, I guess we're in the, you know, we're on this journey and hopefully we get more awareness and we can stop saying it and say things like, I guess, king and queen.
That sounds so weird to say sometimes. I'm that. Hey, king, get over here, king.
But it'll get as we do it, it'll become more and more natural.
Is that what you call people, king and queens?
Nah, not at all.
What do you call them, niggas and niggas?
Nah. What's up? You know, I'm just saying, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
My mama heard me on this show and she was like, I gotta stop saying that word. And I'm like, you right. Because I don't want, you know, it's not the best. When I'm extra comfortable and I'm just talking, it just comes out like, you know, urine on a baby. But at the end of the day, I got to work on that, and I am working on that. So I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better. But listen, this is your second episode. How are you feeling?
Woo! I'm feeling good. I made it through.
You made it through? Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Will you ever reveal to us who you really are?
I am who I am. I am really who you introduced me as. So.
Oh God, definitely. Here we go with the antics. Will you ever show your face on the podcast?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. I cannot wait until you are close enough to do that. Listen, y'all, thank you so much for coming along this ride with me. Thank you for listening to the mukbang episode last week and watching me eat them crab legs. It's literally still a crab leg juice on my table, y'all, which is horrible. There is literally still a crab leg remnant on this microphone. So please watch that episode. You know where to find us. You can find us on _Meloney P on Instagram and That Scary with Meloney P on YouTube. Make sure you follow us. We're going to see you next week on the episode. Bye, Henry.
Bye. Have a good week.